Okay, this is a video or a recording, YouTube video, I guess, of BibleRick. I have the BibleRick website. There's the BibleRick website. But I'm working on files within my computer. So, back out of that one. This is the files on my computer. I created this for myself. It's up there at Bibles-versions.com. Don't forget the dash. Everything on that site is on this site. This is that site. So I got Bishop, Geneva. I got the 3 King James, the 1611, the real one, as much as I could. You know, it's good. 1769, which is the one based on all my work within the library, within the concordances, within the Bible. The 1769. 1850 is a help with Strong's numbers, Strong's dictionaries. I have both a Hebrew and a Greek dictionary, so you can go back and look at what James H. Strong's did to best explain it. Then I have the Webster's, the Young's literal translation, and the American Standard Version, the ASV. So, good format on which to work. The reason for these two, and this one as well, is to compare what's said in this one to what was said previously, before. You can see how things change in the versions after it. But again, everything's based on the 1769. My work, my concordance. This is my concordance. This is not Strong's concordance. This is my concordance. Strong's helped to define my concordance. But if you know anything about his concordance, remember what you were looking at. Now look at this. And that's what this video is about here, the concordance. It's a concordance of the 12,856 words in the King James 1769 version of the Bible. Every word alphabetically. Now, pick a word. Let's pick a word. Okay, let's just go to letter A. Boom, Adam. Let's go to Adam. You want to study about Adam. That's what this concordance is. Now, at a glance, you'll be able to see that blue is Hebrew, Old Testament. Green is Greek, New Testament. Black are in both the Old and the New Testament. Numbers in pink are people and places. So, at a glance, Aaron, and Aaron's are all in both Testaments. Aaronites is only mentioned in the Old. Abaddon, only in the New. And then only in the Old. So it goes on and so forth. You can tell at a glance where things lie. This is totally unique. Another thing that's unique about this is there's a count first. These are every single word. You're not going to find one missing or added to it. Okay? What's here is in the text. Okay? What I did, because I'm a horrid speller, was I numbered each word because I can remember numbers. So how to spell words were a daunting test. If you're trying to find something in the Bible, Abel Beth Makah, or however it's said, how the heck do you spell it? Okay, so one of the cool things here is I have them in alphabetical order, numbered, and color-coded. Easy as pie. Okay, so now we're going to study about Adam. So we go, here's all the A's, the A, B. I want to go to A, D. There's C. There's C. There we go, Adam. Adam is mentioned in both the Old and the New. Again, the pink says it's a person or a place, right? But when it talks about Adam's possession, Adam apostrophe S, it's only mentioned in the New Testament. Okay, not even in the Old, just the New. So pretty helpful. Now check this out. Adam. Just for the sake of clicking, I'm going to go ahead and click on Adam. Here are every mention of Adam in the Bible. First verse is in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 19. 01 points out it's the first book. If it were 02, it would be Exodus. Okay? Did this for the sake of searching. These numbers were added. And at a glance, when you're looking at a verse, you know immediately what book it is, what chapter, what verse. You know, oftentimes you don't see the book right with it. You're like, okay, it's the third verse, but what chapter and book? Okay, so for this reason, I added this number system here. Out of the ground, da-da-da-da, these words are black. Okay, Adam is right here. Now watch the cursor. I pointed at him, and I can click on it. Okay, just for sake of reference, every word that has a pink number to it can be clicked. Okay, so here, and when you click it, because this may mean something different than this verse, and so on and so forth. So the meaning here, okay, is what I want. Boom, Adam. I click on the red Adam within the text, and it brings me to Hebrew, Strong's Hebrew, number 120, Adam. And then it tells of, means ruddy. Or let's start from 119. There's 119. You didn't have to turn back. I went ahead and added it for you. Okay. In any case, it goes on to give the meaning, and this is Strong's. Pretty good stuff. I went ahead and added 19. Now, cool. I added 120 and 119. All right. As you scroll down in Strong's Concordance, this is the cool thing of Strong's. Boom, boom. Here's 130. The Edomite, whatever the case. It says from 123, and it tells you to also see H2726. Okay, so this one I put here, and I added this parentheses to and B added the parentheses. So you read 123, which it says it's from, and he refers to 122. So I added 122 right here below it. Okay, this 726 refers to a 130. Oh, that was 130. Okay, the 119 is here. The 122, the 726, the A and the B. Cool stuff. I did this for every entry of Strong's. Augmented. Okay, look at this one. A Lord, worshiper, Jah. Adonijah. There's 3 of them. But here's an A and here's a B. Sometimes there's C, D, E, and so on. Okay, wow. So I took note of this and took this 113, made reference to it here. Okay, it has no further links. But the next one, 3050, refers to this one. And this one refers to that one, and these two, and then Look, it's all there. It's all there. So you can literally, and that's the great thing about this, we didn't go there yet, copy this. And that's, again, for the copy button. Copy. And go ahead and open up Microsoft Word. Open up a document. I like doing that. And then that gives me a reel and a reel on both sides. And then I go ahead and paste. Boom. Look at how it goes into a Word document. That is awesome. All still color-coded. Bold and at a glance, blue's telling me it's Old Testament. The H confirming that. And all the reference numbers. Wow. You know how many hours it took me to put this together with pencil and paper? And then still it wasn't coherent. I still had to go look up on it. Now it can be done. Easy as pie. Easy as pie. Cool stuff. So just for the record, bam. That's Strong's. It's Strong's. Strong's at its best. I can't thank myself enough. Every time I use it, my complete studies, it's there. It's right there. The whole thing. As far as Strong's was able to direct me, it's all there. He did an awesome work. Could stand corrected, but I think it was something like 35 years he devoted of his life to the attention of this. What an awesome devotion. Yeah. So, there's my concordance. Again, all numbers pink, you can click on. Right? It's awesome. Brings you right to the Hebrew dictionary. That particular meaning. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, we jump out of A, back to the concordance. You can look up any word, any one of those 12,000. If you heard it, it's probably there. If it's not there, it's because it's not from the King James. Try to find out the spelling between it and the King James, and you can find the King James spelling of that word. Yeah, I run into that problem quite frequently. People are going, hey, how come I can't find this? It's because, okay, what version were you reading? That's why. So let's compare and see what the King James, where that Bible replaced the spelling or whatever. Okay, so now concordance, awesome tool. Awesome tool. Find anything you want in the Bible. All you can do is know 2 words of it. Bam, you're there. You're there. You can find it. You may have a choice, so you're going to have to read through them, but all the information's there to read. You can do this. Now, what expounds this even deeper? Here's every single word. All these concordants were based off this number system. Remember the number system. Okay, here's the number system. Right? H comma 1 or C comma 1 or S S comma 1555. They're all here. They're all here. So no matter what you're looking for, you can find it. Salt is a thing, and it's also a place. So I gave you both links. Here's the one time it's only salt. okay, I do believe right above it is the one that is, by the way, black in both. But salt as a place is only in the Old Testament colored blue. Good concordance, but long, you know. Paid attention to all the differences, the apostrophes, you know, so on and so forth. Again, at a glance, you can see whether it's in the New Testament, the Old Testament, or if it's actually mentioned in both. So you learn something right there of the complexity, but it actually simplifies it. So, the Red Sea, you know, stuff that I thought significantly different. It's in the sea reference as well, but I did this again for notes. Um, in the case of Red Sea, it's a separate document, or it's a separate place in the document, I should say. And it gives all just the Red Sea. So if you wanted to omit the blue ones, the reason the blue one's there is because it's within this verse here. But if it talks about the sea or red in a different place, you know, some of it I did. And you can go in and augment this yourself. You can go in and change anything you want within here. If you'll notice, I brought it to Joshua. I'm only one person. To bring all these verses, okay, to every specific point and place. Okay, in another 40 years, if I live that long, I just turned 56 yesterday. I'll get it back. I'll get this back to you. And I said, well, you know what? I got a pretty good foundation. Let me just give this a whirl. I know it can be utilized, and I know it can be utilized effectively. Good stuff. Okay, so the distinctions in some of, how would you say, listing. Notice I didn't count this as another number, though. It only goes under the number C. If you go to R, okay, so let's click back into R. Go down to red, and then bam, I have a reference for it as well. Again, it's not separate from red. Red is said, and it's capitalized or it's not capitalized, how it's, and again, I don't have a separate number for it. So these are all what I'm going to call them the most accurate list ever compiled. Strong's, for the most part, was pretty correct. There were a few here and there that were spelled differently, or weren't acknowledged in that fashion, especially when you get into the newer Strongs. The older ones, they had correct references, a word or two missing. Awesome 35 years of that man's life. He did an awesome job, not taking that away from him. But in this case, because the King James is ours as well, I felt it necessary to create something correct. Check it out. Awesome stuff. All right, so now back to the concordances. This is the main concordance. All that is based on the number system. These concordants follow with that number system. For instance, New Testament concordance. Only words in the New Testament of the words in the New Testament. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to A again. Now, you'll see the number system. One, this is an Old Testament, a New Testament concordance. So these are all the words that are mentioned in the New Testament. Okay, These are mentioned in both, okay, but these only are mentioned in the Old Testament, okay? And what I want to point out here is the number system. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. So number 4 isn't in the New Testament. Number 6 through 9 are not in the New Testament. Okay? 11, where's 12? It's not in the New Testament. And then between 14 and 19 are not in the New Testament. So this is a complete list. And here again, I stepped in, but I'm pretty thorough about what I did. Very well could be wrong, but more than likely am 100% correct. Nevertheless, it's an awesome compiled list of the actual words. And if you'll notice, again, they're in alphabetical order to the number system. I added a count. That count could be wrong. Kind of just tried to help give a little bit more light to it. If it's not that exact number, it's within a word or two. So here's the letter A, all of them. And again, the pink applies as person or place and the color. So at a glance, pretty good list. Now, that was the New Testament. Pretty good. Here's the Old Testament. It's a lot larger. I do have a word count, but I took it off because I made the list from different documents, and it proved to be inaccurate. So I took the numbers out. In the Old Testament, there are 787 words that begin with the letter A. And again, A is in both Testaments, and these are only words. You won't find any green links in here. Okay, so here's a list. And again, at a glance, you can tell things. These are people and places. This is not. Okay, but it's in both Testaments, so pretty cool stuff. Again, proper, but not. Okay, abject is abjects. So abject is not in the Bible. Abjects is only. Awesome compiled list. It's pretty accurate too. You know what? A good base to go on. If you got another one, throw it in there. Okay. As I did C and whatnot. Okay, so that's the Old Testament concordance. This list is mine. I created it, so nobody else has this. Nobody has this, even without the number system. I've never been able to find just the words in the New Testament or just the words in the Old Testament. I compiled it even long before I did the color theme within my main concordance. I compiled this long before that, without the aid of colors to help me in that. Okay, moving on. Individual concordances. See, this is singular concordance. Individual concordances. And what that is information compiled, not in any way, shape, or form. "39 books in the Old Testament, and there's 27 in the New. These are the books of the Bible. There's the Old Testament. There's the New Testament. They're numbered in how they fall. So Malachi is the 39th book. The 40th book is the first book of the New Testament. The 66th is the last. And these are the books. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, and so on. And now, And I created this for me as well. I mentioned I can't spell to save my life, but I can remember numbers better. So that's why this was created. If I hear of the book Colossians, I remember in my mind that's 51. That's the 51st book. Now, why this was created was for my learning, but I also found in that it would be easy for us, okay, if you had this document in front of you and I told you to go to the 28th book, the book of Hosea, 28th book, Hosea, you would go, oh, cool. So again, now for finding things, I said I named it 013 da 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 da. So in this case, it would be 28 dash. Here we go. Let's go take a look. Okay, we're in the concordance. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay. Let's go to small book. Let's go to the book of Jude. Thanks. All right. It's the book of Jude. It's a concordance of the words talked about in the book of Jude. If the word was mentioned, if it's in the text, it's in this list. I have a concordance for every book of the Bible. Here's the book of Isaiah. Again, I'm one person, and apparently this document isn't done, because this is my old format. It was blue, and names were pink. I switched the pink to the numbers, so this is an old document. You can go change it if you like. It's a lot of work. I tried to move on, thinking that I'd fill in these documents as I go. Um, at a quick glance, you see the background? It's kind of fuzzy. Whatever, that's a certain kind of parchment. The ones that are done, I would have to bring up a big one. A different background, and they're colored, and now you can link on them. So here again, I'm one person, forgive me, but instead of waiting until the cows come home, I figured I'd put it out there. You know, in any case, them are the concordances, in the individual concordances. Now I got one here, check this out. Remember I went to the Old Testament concordance and it was blue and black words, right? Well, I have a list here of only the blue words. So if they were mentioned in the Old Testament, but were mentioned in the New Testament as well, I took it out. And I did this for the reason of study. Okay, why? Why was this done? Why was this done? Didn't talk nothing about these people. Hey, oh, this is not in the New Testament. This is only in the Old Testament. It talks about Ahab. I mean, there's a lot of things that are only in the Old Testament. Who knew? So here again, at a glance, you're seeing words only in the Old Testament in this case. See how they're blue? Okay. Here's words only in the New Testament. Pizza's hot. Okay? These are only words mentioned only in the New Testament. And they're green. And you can click on them. And it'll bring you to the actual concordance. Okay? But, because it's green, it's only mentioned in the New Testament. So, it's not talked about in the Old Testament. So, if you want to click on abusers or something like that, boom. She's only one time now. Whoa, abusing is used only one time. This word, see, this is an Old Testament word, New Testament words. And this word accept is in both books, New and Old. Very good stuff. Now, that was the New Testament, they were green. That was the Old Testament, they were blue. Yeah, now look what I did. Right? Of words only mentioned in both Testaments. Wow. What can we learn? Can learn a lot. Names, if we want to go names, copy it down to just the names mentioned in both Testaments. So Esau, we're going to study in both Testaments. This guy, you know, and as you can see, Arabia, Arabians, Aram, you know, talks about angel and angels. Amos in both Testaments, Ammon in both Testaments, talks about the mighty in both Testaments. Whoa, good stuff. Adam's talked about in both Testaments. All these words are. But at a glance, the pink's helping out in this. Okay, because I want to study about the people. So da-da-da-da. Okay, you can go on your own study and maybe job descriptions or food or, you know, things to do with botany or whatever kind of list or study your mind or God has taken us on. You know, we all have our passions. Yay. Mine was to put this together so that we could all already have it done. Okay, now we can just go forward from it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So, I have all those concordances. This, the main one, we could all just live with that and be cool as cool. Here, different studies. Good stuff. The individuals, the old, the new, words, the only blue, only green, only in those testaments. And these are the words only mentioned in both. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, the concordance